Good morning. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I am Glennis Peterson, and it is my pleasure to be your service leader today. I hope you're all well and staying safe. Know that I think of all of you and look forward to seeing your beautiful smiles in the near future. In the meantime, take a moment and call and connect with each other until we can be together again in our church. It is one way to stay connected. Our speaker this week is Donna Smith. Donna will be available after this service for an after-sermon discussion on Zoom. Every Sunday, the sign-in time is 11:15, and we start talking at 11:30. Please let us know if you need help accessing Zoom. There are links to our AEO presentations and Zoom and services on the newsletter. It's all over the newsletter. You can't miss it. But if you need help, let us know so we can have you participate in our after-service discussions. Michael Wheeler sends out emails every week with links to these services and the after-service Zoom meetings. Since you're watching this on YouTube, remember to please click the subscribe button so it'll be easier for you to find us. In addition to services and discussions, our channel includes meditations and interviews. The nice thing about having these available on YouTube is that you can view them anytime. I want to thank Michael Wheeler and Lucy Swingham for their work in producing these videos every week. The chalice lit among us is a beacon of hope in a world in crisis, a beacon of possibility made manifest in community, a beacon of warmth through our interconnections, a beacon of light illuminating our shared wisdom, a beacon of connection by our being together. Our opening words this morning are from Barbara Marx Hubbard. Coherence is a heartfelt connection with others as part of yourself. What we need now is global coherence, an awakening of the global heart, the feeling of being one interconnected planetary body with a shared purpose of mutual growth for the sake of the whole Earth community. My sense is that global coherence is beginning to happen. More and more of us are feeling a heart connection. This means that the birth may actually be imminent. I would like to introduce today's speaker, Donna Smith. Now, for those of you who don't know her, as a Unity Worldwide Ministry spiritual leader, Donna's ministerial training was focused on pastoral care. Her heart is most joyful when she can help others find peace and joy in their lives. She is also a Unity chaplain, a Taizé prayer leader and trainer, a Reiki master and practitioner, a nonviolent communication teacher, a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles at UUUC, and is active in our Cares and Concerns community. Before pursuing ministry, she was a certified public accountant, operating on her own business for many years. Since retiring, she does the accounting for Abbasella Winery in Roseburg on a part-time basis.
Good morning, my UUUC friends. I thought I would start this morning with a little humor, because I think right now we all need a little humor. I grew up with Steve Jobs, Johnny Cash, and Bob Hope. Now there are no jobs, there are no cash, and there's no hope. So please, please, God, don't let anything happen to Kevin Bacon. So I see that you're either rolling around on the floor with laughter or you're going to the refrigerator for tomatoes. So that's one good thing about you not being here. The only good thing is that you can't hit me with tomatoes. I want to talk with you this morning about our part in birthing a universal humanity. Our part as an individual is becoming a universal human within the new universal humanity. And I want to present this from the work of Barbara Marx Hubbard. Our history has been that we have been mostly focused on what I'm going to call as the individual human paradigm. We have been taught that competition, getting ahead of others, and getting things before others are the most important. We have believed we needed to do this because we have had a belief in lack, that there is just not enough to go around. Now, the irony of this belief is that all of this competition and greed, because of this fear of lack, has itself caused and is still causing the lack. A lack of resources on earth, our dear home, through depletion, without replenishing, and without proper management. So the fear of lack and the competitive drive have actually caused the lack and the disappearance of resources and species. It is coming to the critical, almost irreversible depletion of our resources, destruction of our very planet, and the extinction of species that provide us sustenance, beauty, and companionship. Our current condition of overgrowth in our finite Earth system is simply not sustainable. So we must move through this time of chaos into a new paradigm. We will never go back to what we call normal again. And in my opinion, the old normal was killing us. And I don't want to go back to the new normal. I want to help create a new paradigm based on love and compassion, cooperation, growth, managed expansion of resources based on sharing, not greed. As Barbara says, but an evolving system cannot return to the past. It must seek out new structures and systems and quickly ascend to a new configuration, or else face rapid decline. The universe is forever expanding through creativity. This impulse that Barbara calls the impulse of evolution is in each one of us. This impulse is the process of creation and evolution that has moved life for billions of years toward a greater consciousness and complexity. As this impulse turns on within us, we start evolving, and we want to express more of our potential. And when we open to being a universal human, we realize our connection to the whole of life. We awaken within with a desire to find greater life purpose, and we look forward to our future. We move into cosmic consciousness and ever-deepening spirituality. And we are right now in the process of birthing a new humanity. As we look around today, many may say, that all sounds great, but what about the many right now who don't have jobs, who don't have cash, who do not have hope, and the many that do not have food? But our crisis is part of our birthing process. In the birthing process, there is a period of gestation in the womb, a time when a new being, a new era, a new idea, a new paradigm is being created, but has not been seen yet. It is the seed that is planted, and the seed is evolutionary in that it grows into something much, much bigger. The new universal humanity, a new consciousness, has always been in the womb of life and now it is its time to be birthed. This birthing of a new consciousness cannot be halted, just like you cannot stop the birth of a baby when it is time. Birth is a one-way journey, and that is why we can't go back to normal. We can't prevent this birth or push it back into the womb of life because we are afraid of it. We're afraid of the new consciousness. It just doesn't work that way. Now, this birth is happening now. And as in the birth of a new human being from the womb of another human being, there's pain. Barbara calls them universal contractions. Change can be very scary, and many may, therefore, resist the change. But resisting can cause these universal contractions to be more painful. Just like in birthing a child, the doctor says to breathe and to relax, to make the birth go smoother and less painful. So we must do this as we enter into our conscious evolution. Evolution by choice and not by chance. And this will make the birthing process of a new universal humanity less painful and more focused and intentional. So as we go through the pain of this new birth, the chaos, the unpredictability, the fears, we must realize that this is not new for us. Looking at our history, we will see this birthing process happening at different times. We have had leaps of consciousness throughout our existence as human beings. And in Barbara's research, she has shown that before these leaps in consciousness, they have been preceded by painful crisis. Barbara writes, when we review this big history, this deep time past, we learn that certain lessons recur. Crisis almost always precedes transformation. Problems are evolutionary drivers. Nature takes jumps through greater synergy and cooperation within and among species. We are living through such a leap in consciousness right now. It is our wake-up call for us to mature as human species, a universal humanity. I love that. I love those two words. And that is why I call out to you to become a universal human. So what does it take to become a universal human? Well, Barbara asked the question in one of her meditations, and she received these 3 important aspects from the divine source. Number 1 is radical forgiveness. Radical means at the root. Radical forgiveness means forgiving everyone and everything and hanging on to no unforgiveness. Personal, societal, cultural, governmental. Unforgiveness is necessary because forgiveness blocks you from being and becoming a universal human. It blocks your forward movement. It blocks your happiness. It blocks your creativity. It blocks you from loving yourself and loving others. It blocks you from knowing the oneness that is your truth. Without radical forgiveness, you will not make it through the contractions that lead to the new paradigms that we must move into to continue life on this earth. I read many books from our past and our present spiritual leaders, and all of them stress the importance of forgiveness, and yet it seems to be our hardest choice. Forgiveness is for you and your evolution. Forgiveness will open you to a freedom that will be so amazing, you will begin forgiving anything and everything right away. And then, eventually, you will realize that there's nothing to forgive. And you are freed of that burden. It's quite the journey. In the Way of Mastery, it reads, "For to forgive means to choose to release another from the perceptions you have been projecting upon them. It is therefore an act of forgiving oneself of one's projections. As you begin to forgive, each time you forgive, you take yourself deeper into the purity of your own consciousness. You begin to see how profoundly you have been coloring and therefore affecting all of your relationships through the simple act of not being aware of the power of your projections. Healing our projections that we have placed on others brings us into a higher consciousness automatically, and then opens a path to being a universal human. And that is the path, of course, to the awareness of oneness. Her second download from the divine, radical gratitude. Do you wake up in the morning grateful that you woke up, that you are breathing, that you are in a warm, comfortable bed, that you have a home, that you will be having a delicious breakfast soon while looking out the window at beautiful nature? Do you think about and are you grateful for all the abundance that flows to you in all forms? Are you grateful for all the people in your life, your family, your friends, the strangers that hold the door for you or let you drive ahead of them on the road, the ones that smile at you? Are you grateful for the people that push your buttons? For they are your evolutionary drivers helping you to heal you. Are you grateful for your job or your volunteer work that you do? Are you grateful for the technology that keeps us communicating with each other, just like this today? We can still communicate, albeit by Zoom. We can't, hug each other, but we can still communicate, and I'm very grateful for that. This is radical gratitude from the root. Are you grateful for all of humanity, for planet Earth, for the billions of galaxies? And are you grateful for all the parents you have had in all of your lifetimes? Because for each one of those, they did the very best for you. Not to you, but for you. I think you can see now how deeply connected radical forgiveness and radical gratitude are for becoming a universal human. My personal experience with forgiveness and gratitude has opened up my life to inner peace and happiness that is beyond my imagination to even express, and it is so precious to me. Every time I choose to forgive, I am healthier in body, mind, and spirit, and I feel it every time now. So every time I choose to be grateful, more comes into my life to be grateful for. It flows so fast, sometimes I'm in awe. Before I even think about it, sometimes I say, oh yeah, I do want that. Here it is, great. And these go hand in hand as you enter into the third aspect of what Barbara was given that day to become a universal human, and that is radical love. Radical love. Radical love begins by loving yourself, everything about you from the root. You are so important that the universe cannot exist without you. So just think about that. And begin to love your uniqueness, your gifts, your smile, your big toe, your divine essence. Love it all. Then be grateful because you are a divine being, and the divine creates only love and perfection. So you are love, and you are perfect. So don't forget that, even if the world tries to tell you differently, because the world does not know you. But you are perfect. So just listen to your heart, not the world. Everything begins first with you. Everything is within you. Therefore, forgive yourself for everything you can think of, everything you can't remember, everything from past lives that are lost in your subconscious. Just continue to forgive yourself from the root until one day you wake up and you realize, wow, I'm empty of unforgiveness. Because I truly believe you really don't have to go back into your subconscious every little thing. No, you just have to have a willingness to forgive all those misperceptions that you had. That's all it is. If it is to be revealed, ask, reveal what needs to be revealed. Heal what needs to be healed, and it will be given to you. But you don't have to go back to every little thing, because we've been around for quite a while, and that would take us a long time. So you're going to wake up and you're just going to be so happy because you are free, and you're going to then realize how much you really do love yourself. So if you're having trouble feeling and loving yourself, what would block you from loving yourself? Fear, believing you have to earn love, unworthiness, self-judgment, fear of rejection. Great. Now we know all of that, so just let them go. That's all you have to do. You just have to let them go. You don't have to analyze them or do anything. You know what they are now, so just let them go. Don't allow them to control your life anymore. Don't put any conditions on your being able to let them go. That stops you in your tracks. No ifs, ands, or buts, just let them go. And every time you think about them, let them go again. That's the process. And now that you radically love yourself, let's move on to radically loving others. We must go beyond loving someone just because they are good or kind to us, and not loving those who are not. We must love others unconditionally to become a universal human, because everyone is a part of you. If you believe in the oneness of life, you must believe this. And when we radically love others, we can see beyond their fear, their actions, and their words into their hearts, into their divinity. It is with this radical love that we help others, those parts of us that need to be healed. And we cannot do that when we look at others as separate and not a part of us. We can't do that if we look at them as unlovable. That blocks you right there. And every time that you do this, remember you're making a judgment about yourself. There's a teaching in A Course of Miracles. I love this, and I think it is one of the most important teachings ever. And I know I've shared it with you before, but it's that important. When you meet anyone, remember it is a holy encounter. As you see him, you will see yourself. As you treat him, you will treat yourself. As you think of him, you will think of yourself. Never forget this, for in him you will find yourself or you will lose yourself. Where would we be if we didn't have each other? We're all angels who only have one wing because we need each other to fly. So love and empower each other. So these are the basics of becoming and empowering yourself as a universal human in order to birth this new universal humanity. And on this journey, helping us through the birthing process are numerous guides, past and present, offering their blessings, their wisdom, and their encouragement as we make it through the tumult of the planetary birth canal, helping each of us to remember our best role in the unfolding. And I want to close this morning with the words of Stephen Dinan. He is the CEO and founder of the Shift Network. He says, "Evolution has led us to understand that a world built on love is our antidote to fear and selfishness. A world infused with community is our antidote to isolation. A world colored with beauty and justice, our antidote to the hard boot of oppression. Let us each stand for that world in our unique brilliance and creativity. Let us each dare to be midwives and mid-husbands for the birth. Let us each declare our world as sacred, worthy of our most sincere service. So I thank you for being willing to become a universal human. And so now I would like to invite you into some meditation. So wherever you are, get comfortable. Just allow your body to fall into relaxation. Drop your jaw, your shoulders, your knees, and your hands and your arms. But just allowing them to fall wherever they fall naturally. Now close your eyes. Take some very deep breaths, allowing your tummy, your lungs, and your heart to relax as you fully breathe into and breathe out from them. And now as you breathe out the last deep breath before resuming a normal breathing, just say, ah. We are beings of love. And expressing that love is really the only thing we need do in this world. So today, I invite you to broadcast love to humanity and to the world. So to begin, I ask you to focus on your heart and breathe in the feeling of love and appreciation that you have for someone or something that you care deeply about. And this always increases the effectiveness of your heart intention. And you will know that you are there when you begin to feel so good and you just can't help but smile. Now feel your grateful heart connecting with others across the planet who are also sending out love and compassion into the energetic field to help raise the heart vibration of humanity and to reduce the collective stress. See it in your mind's eye and feel it deep within your heart as your heart opens wide to embrace others. The global coherence awakening the global heart. And feel yourself as being one within the interconnected planetary body. And just breathe it in. In this wonderful state of oneness with others around our planet, radiate love and compassion with the intention to to help ease the suffering that so many are experiencing, and to heal the separations, the judgments, the divisiveness that are creating global waves of stress, anxiety, and uncertainty. Embrace it all in this universal love, being radiated out and soothing the fears of so many. So let's spend a moment in silence as we broadcast our love and our loving intentions. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Embrace this planet and all within it. So as you gently bring your attention back into your space, remember that what you did just now is one of the most powerful and important choices that you can make in our world today, to bring love, compassion, equity, respect, and harmony to the world and every person in it. And I thank you for doing this, because it is probably the most important thing, as I said before, that's going to help change and move into that universal humanity. So as you practice broadcasting love, feel that you are contributing to the highest and the best outcome for all. I invite you to make a commitment to broadcast or radiate love during and in between activities, or as often as you can remember. Broadcast it to people, situations, events, issues that you care about. Broadcast the love around it. And then appreciate the benefits that you personally receive when you do this. So together with the wisdom of our hearts, broadcasting love, we will be a force so powerful, we transmute the darkness into light. And we create a space so bright that the true meaning of life will thrive. It actually is already happening. We now just need to awaken to that truth and intentionally join in the transformation. So, we are embarking on a fantastic, wild adventure. So hang on and enjoy the ride. Because when we get over this chaos, wow, it's going to be awesome. Thank you so very much for being with me today.
Our closing words this morning are from Jack Canfield. There is a definite trend of more and more people turning inside to find what really fulfills them. As each of us has the courage to step fully into that which lights us up, we will see a world in which enlightened behavior is the norm rather than the exception. I believe that world is right around the corner. It is our work, shared with each other in covenant, that creates and sustains this beloved community. We extinguished this chalice, but its light lives on in the directions we have chosen today. The light of this faith lives on in us together, in our hearts, minds, bodies, and spirits. Amen and blessed be.